Now, as a business, it is very possible to have ability to continue to make profit over a long period of time as a going concern uh, per se, or as a going concern business. And this is usually the case in partnership. Now, in partnership, it is usually the practice to value the ability or the capacity of a business to continue to make profit over a long period of time. And in doing this, we will be looking at valuation of goodwill in partnership. Now, a partnership is the measurement or recognition of the capacity or ability of a business to continue to make profit over a long period of time. Now, as a business, there are various factors that can contribute to this capacity. But the idea here is that as a partnership business, that capacity to continue to exist and then to make profit over a very long period of time is what we refer to as what? As goodwill. Goodwill is an intangible asset in that it is not physical, it can't be seen. And then this is usually valued or recognized, in monetary terms. And in the books, usually they are referred to as what? As assets. Now, having established that goodwill is the ability of a business to continue to make profit, there are various factors that give rise to goodwill. We have good location, that is where the business is situated. We have quality product or service, that is the ability of the product to meet demand or the need of those that use them. We have quality management and staff. When you have good management and personnel, it helps to improve the ability or the capacity of the business to continue to survive for profit making. Effective customer relations and publicity, where a business has good customer relation and publicity, it helps to also improve the ability of the business to continue to make profit. Ownership of high market share. Some business, for instance, if you look at the Nigerian environment, especially the telecommunication sector, we have a couple of businesses that are seen as the high market share owners. The idea is that so long as you have a high market share and you continue to retain that leadership, it is very, very possible that the capacity or the ability to continue to make profit is what is improved. Then we have access to quality source of supply. So long as the high market share is there and then there's effective customer relationship, then there's a need to always ensure that the products are available. So access to quality source of supply helps to improve the capacity or the ability to continue to make profit. Now, having established that goodwill is that capacity of the business or the partnership to continue to survive and then to make profit, there are two types of goodwill: the purchased goodwill and the inherent goodwill. The purchased goodwill is the goodwill that exists or is recognized when there is a change of ownership. That is, one person is buying another business. The idea is that you have, let's say, a business between you and your friend, let's say A and B or X and Y. Now, X and Y might be interested in buying, say, C and D. Now, if the value of C and D in terms of tangible assets, say 1.3 billion, and then A and B is paying 1.5 billion, you can see that it's an excess of 2 billion. Now that 2 billion is seen as the purchased goodwill, because you are paying an excess, or you're paying a higher value than the tangible assets worth of the business that you're buying. The next one is inherent goodwill. Inherent goodwill is referred to as inbuilt goodwill. It is assumed that the business has developed over time, and as a result, there is the capacity or the ability to continue to make profit from time to time. So, in a summary, or in a nutshell, why the purchased goodwill had to do with an excess payment of for the asset of a business. Inherent goodwill had to do with what? An inbuilt capacity or ability of the business to continue to make profit. Now, valuation of goodwill, what we're trying to do here now is to see how to recognize the goodwill with the value. We have established that we can have purchased goodwill, but the idea is, how do you value the purchased goodwill? We've already established that there must be a change of ownership for us to value a purchased goodwill. There must be a business that wants to be sold, and there must be a business that wants to buy. And then the one buying must pay more than the value of the asset of the one that is being sold. Now let's look at this illustration. We have A and B decided to purchase the business of X and Y on the 1st January 2010. The balance sheet of X and Y as at that date, is as follows. We have X and Y. So statement of financial position at 31st January 2009. Remember, the end of 2009 is the beginning of 2010. So we have the assets of X and Y. We have non-current assets. We have land and building 240,000, motor vehicle 270, office equipment 250. Then we have cash at hand 45,000, debtors 75,000. So total asset here is 880,000. Liabilities, we have creditors 80,000, term loan 250. And then we have partners capital, that's for X and Y. We have 282. So at the end of everything, total liability here is 880. So at this level, you should be able to tell or identify the items of the balance sheet. So they are saying that A and B took over all assets of X and Y except cash for 1,320,000. So what they're saying is that A and B is buying X and Y for 1,320,000 except for the cash of X and Y. They are not saying you are required to determine the value of goodwill if 1. Only the assets you are taken over by A and B. 2. Asset and liabilities you are taken over by A and B. So let's look at the first scenario here. Only the assets you are taken over by A and B. What they're saying is that A and B purchased X and Y by taking over just the assets. So it means that X and Y, we have to pay its liabilities. So now, what is the purchase consideration that A and B paid? 1,320,000. You can see that here. Okay, A and B took over all assets of X and Y except cash for 1,320,000. So we have 1,320,000 assets taken over. Remember, he took over all the assets except cash. So what are the assets? Look at the question. There's land and building 240, motor vehicle 270, office equipment 250. That's 760,000 if you add these three. Then there's cash at hand 45,000. There's debtors 75,000. So everything is 880,000. But they are saying that A and B took over the asset except cash. Cash is how much? 45,000. So we have 880,000 minus 45,000. That gives us 835,000. So A and B is taking over the assets, which is 835,000, and then paying 1,320,000. So the excess, which is 485,000, and this 1,320,000 minus 835,000 is what? Is the goodwill. So having established the goodwill, now prepare a balance sheet for A and B. It means that the business for X and Y has ended. So the new business is what? A and what? B. So look at A and B now. Statement of financial positions at 31st January 2009. Non-current assets. They took over the land and building, 240,000. They took over motor vehicle, 270,000. They took over office equipment, 250,000. They are all here in the question. You can see them here. Now, other assets. Remember, they paid an excess, which is 320,000 minus 835, 485. That is the goodwill. You can see the goodwill here. Other asset, goodwill. So that is what you have here. So if you add 760 plus 485, you have that. Then we have debtors. They took over debtors except cash, 75,000. So 75,000 plus 485 plus 760 gives you 1,320,000. So in that sense, the liabilities here, they did not take over any liabilities. So there's no liability. And the next thing is the partner's capital account, which is for A and B. Okay, that's the amount invested into the what? Partnership. So A and B paid how much? 1,320,000. So that's what it is here. And then total liability is 1,320,000, which is equal to total what? Asset. So this is the scenario where A and B is taking over the asset of what? X and Y without taking over the liabilities. Now let's look at the scenario where A and B took over the asset and the liabilities. So this is the next scenario here. Asset and liability were taken over by A and B. So let's go. What's the purchase consideration as usual? 1,320,000. Okay. Now asset taken over. Remember, it is what? 880,000, which is total asset minus cash. You're not taking over cash. That is 835,000. Okay. Now liabilities taken over. What are the liabilities in the question? Creditors 80,000. Term loan 250. That's 330,000. That's the liability taken over. Okay. Now the idea is that A and B took over the assets and also took over the liability. That means A and B will pay the assets and they will pay the what? Liabilities. So X and Y will not have to pay the liabilities from the 1,320,000. Okay, so it will mean that what? Liability taken over is, so it means that the good will now be 1,320,000 minus 835,000 plus 330,000, because A and B is the one paying the liabilities. Okay, so they will pay 1,320,000, take over the asset, and then they will settle the what? The liabilities later. That gives us 815,000 as what? The goodwill. So let's prepare the revised balance sheet, or the balance sheet, or the new balance sheet after taking over the asset and liability. So we have A and B, table of financial position, 31st December 2019. So we have land and building, of course, is in the question, 240,000. Motor vehicle taking over, 270,000. Office equipment, 250,000. If you add the three, you have 760. The goodwill will now be 815,000. Okay, and then we now have current assets, debtors, 75,000. Okay, so when you add everything, you have 1,650,000. Now, the liability side, they took over the liability. So we have the creditors here, 80,000. Term loan, 250,000. These are in the questions. Then partners capital, that's the A and B, the 1,320,000 that was taken over. So if you add everything together, you have 1,650,000 total liabilities, equal to what? Total what? Assets. So the idea here is that where the new business is taking over, the assets alone, then the consideration, which is the amount paid, okay, less the total asset taken over is the goodwill. But where it is taking over the what? Asset and liabilities, okay, so it will be the consideration minus the asset taken over plus the what? Liabilities. Now we have established that the goodwill that is purchased, okay, which is the purchase goodwill, is calculated as the excess of purchase consideration over the tangible asset of the business. But in this case now, we're trying to value the inherent goodwill. We already defined inherent goodwill as inbuilt goodwill that the business developed over time. Okay, and this is inbuilt. Okay, now in calculating or valuing or in the valuation of the what? Inherent goodwill, we take the following methods. The first one is the purchase of average total profit method. Now what this method is saying is that the business has made profit over some stated years in the past. Hence, the goodwill will be the average of the profit all through the years. So, for instance, if in the last 5 years, the business has made profits over the last 5 years. Okay, so the goodwill will be the average of what? Of the profit made over the last 5 years. So after doing the average, you now assume that, okay, the business can make this average profit over the next couple of years. It could be 3 years, it could be 4 years, it could be 5 years. So when you now multiply the number of assumed years, okay, that you see that the business can make profit in the future over the average what? Profit, then that is seen as what? As a goodwill. So basically, the purchase of average total profit method, we can use what they call the simple average method or the weighted average method. Now, look at this question. We're trying to see how to calculate goodwill, inherent goodwill, using what they call the purchase average profit, or the purchase of average profit, or what they call the purchase average total profit. Okay, so here, look at what they said now. They said the profit made by X, Y, and Z in the past 6 years are stated below. So we have years 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. These are the profits. Okay, 2005 is 240, 6 is 270, 250, 260, 280, 320. So these are the profits made in this past 6 years. Then I say partners, they decide to retire from the partnership. For this purpose, the partners decide to value goodwill at 4 years purchase of average profit. So the idea is that they are saying that we should compute the inherent goodwill using the purchase of average profit, purchase of total average profit. And I said that this we can use simple average method or weighted average method. So here is the simple average method. Okay. So what's the average profit? Your average profit is what? The profit made over the last 6 years. You can see 240,000, 217, 250, 260, 280, 320. They're all in the question. Look at the question here. You see, they've given you that in the question. So when you add all together, how many years? We have 6 years. That will be divided by what? 6. So 240, 270 plus 250 plus 260 plus 3 plus 320 will give you 1,620,000. So when divided by 6, your average profit is 270,000. So they are not saying that they are purchasing it for 4 years. That means they are saying that in the next 4 years, the business should be able to make this profit. So for goodwill, we will now say 4 times 270,000. So goodwill is 1,080,000, which is 1.80 million. So that's the simple average method. Now for the weighted average method, you can see here now, it's the same thing. We have the years 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these are the weighted figure. We have year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6. Okay. So what do? So if you add up 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, you have 21. So here are the profit from the question: 240, 270, 250, 260, 280, and 320. So for 2005, we say 1 times 240, that's 240. 2006, 2 times 270, that's 540. 2007, 3 times 250, that's 750. 2008, 4 times 26, that's 1,040,000. 2009, 5 times 280, that's 1,400,000. 2010, 6 times 320, that's 1,920,000. So that will call the weighted profit. So when you add all the weighted profit, you have 5,890,000. So your weighted average profit will be 5,890,000 divided by 21. This 21, this 589. So that will be weighted average profit of 28476.9. And they are saying that they are purchasing it for 4 years. That means in the next 4 years, it's expected that the business will continue to make this profit. So goodwill will now be 4 times 4 times 280,476.19. So goodwill will be 1,121,904.76. So this is the simple average method that we just looked at now in illustration. So we are saying that the method collates the profit made over a specific number of years and averages total by number of years, after which a predictable years of maintaining the average profit is assumed to purchase the average profit. I think that is what we just did in an illustration. Okay, so we also looked at the weighted average method. Okay, so it's the same thing. We have the profit made over specific years, and then the average total profit by what total weighted number of what years. And then after doing that, you also what predict the number of years of maintaining the average profit. Okay, so that is basically what we have just what done. So it's just a further note to the illustration we just had. Now the next method of valuing inherent goodwill is what? Purchase of average super profit method. So what are we saying here? What we are saying is that the business have operated for years and has made profit throughout what the period of operation. Okay, so goodwill here is the understanding of the average profit made all through the years of operation compared to the expected profit achievable by the business in a similar industry. So this is what I'm saying. You already know that, okay, in the last 5 years, okay, you have made profits in these 5 years. Okay, and then you are able to determine the average profit, which is addition of the total profit for those 5 years divided by 5. Okay, now that is for your business. Then you are going to look for what the profit expected, okay, by a business in a similar industry. So you have already computed the average profit of your business, but you're not going to say, okay, in this industry, what is the expected what profit of a similar business? So the difference between the average profit of your own what business and the expected profit achievable in the industry, okay, is what we use to compute the goodwill. Now here is an illustration of purchase of average super profit method. Okay, so we're still using the same question. Profit made by X, Y, and Z in the past 6 years are stated below. We have here 2005, 2010. We still have 240, 270, 250, 260, 280, 320. Okay? And I'm saying partner Z decided to retire from the partnership. For this purpose, the partner decided to value goodwill at 4 years purchase of average what? Profit. Okay? You require to complete the goodwill using the purchase of average super profit method, assuming that annual industry profit stands at what? 120,000. Okay? So let's go. So this purchase of average super profit method. So we have our average profit as usual, 240, 270, 250, 260, 280, 320. Add everything together divided by 6. So we have 620,000 divided by 6. Average profit is what? 270,000. Now average super profit is the difference between this average profit and the industry profit. So the question said that the industry profit is what? 120,000. So we have 270 minus 120,000. So average super profit is what? 150,000. Then you now what? Purchase it for 4 years. You're now assuming that in the next 4 years you can make this 150,000. So good will be what? 4 times 150,000, which is what? 600,000 naira. Now the next method of calculating inherent goodwill is the capitalization of super profit method. Now what this is saying is that the profit of the business is made by what? All assets that's tangible and intangible. Okay, now they're not saying that the part of the profit that the intangible asset, okay, makes is what is used in valuing the what? Goodwill. So if your total asset makes a profit of 200,000 or 100,000, for instance, okay, so if your tangible asset makes 80% of it, then the 20% is that of the intangible asset. So that is the basis for calculating the goodwill, because goodwill itself is an intangible asset. So they are saying that the profit that the intangible asset has made should be used in arriving what? The goodwill. That's what we call the capitalization of a super profit what? Method. Now this is an illustration for what? For capitalization of super profit method. Okay, so let's go. They say the total tangible asset of a partnership business stood in the book as what? 750,000 naira. The return on the asset employed in a similar industry published is 20%. The annual profit of the partnership firm stood in the book as 200,000. They now say required, determine the value of goodwill using the capitalization of super profit method. So let's go. They say total tangible asset is 750,000. Abi? Annual total profit is 200,000. So that means that your tangible asset and your intangible asset makes 200,000 per annum. Now they're not saying that the return on the asset employed, which is tangible, is what? 20%. So return on tangible asset employed is 20%, which is 0.2 times 750,000. Okay. That means your tangible asset has made what? 150,000. Okay? So that means your return on intangible asset employed, which is super profit, will be what? The annual profit, 200,000 minus what? The profit made by the what? Tangible asset, which is 150,000. So we have 200,000 minus 150,000, which is what? 50,000. So now to purchase it, okay? Do you understand now? So that would be good, which is 50,000 divided by what? 0.2. Okay? So 50,000 divided by 0.2. That will give you 200 and what? 50,000. That is the goodwill. Pause. So this method is the capitalization of total profit method. It's the same thing, okay, as capitalization of super profit. But in this case, what we're doing is we have to establish the total tangible asset employed, and we have to establish the total asset employed. So the difference between total asset employed and total tangible asset employed is what we refer to as what? The goodwill. Okay, it's the same question, but now we're looking at what? It from capitalization of total profit method. So we still have the total tangible asset of partnership business stood in the book as 750,000. The return on the asset employed similar industry is 20%. The annual profit of the partnership firm stood in the book as what? 200,000. Now determine the value of goodwill using the capitalization of total profit method. Okay, total tangible assets we know is 750,000. Annual profit is what? 200,000. Return on tangible asset, 20% of 750,000 is what? 150,000. So what's the ratio of total tangible asset to return on total asset employed? That's 750,000 divided by 150,000, 5 times. Okay, so that means that the return on total asset employed is 5 times the total tangible asset. So if return on tangible asset employed is 5 times of what? Total tangible assets, then, okay, then total asset employed will be 5 times of the annual what? Profit. So that's why you have total asset employed, which is 5 times 200,000, which is 1 million. So your goodwill will now be what? Total asset employed minus total tangible asset. Total asset employed is what? 1 million. Total tangible asset is what? 750,000. So we now have goodwill will be what? 1 million minus 750,000, which is what? 200 and what? 50,000. Now the next method of computing or valuing goodwill is the premium method. Okay, so this method will normally set in where there's a change of what? Interest or change of profit ratio. For instance, you have you're in a partnership business with your friends, okay, and then there was a particular sharing ratio, and then you guys decide to change the ratio to another ratio. Okay, so the idea is that in changing it to a new ratio, some partners might lose, okay, while some will gain. So usually in this case, those that gain will be asked to what? To compensate those that what? Lost. So in doing that, we are able to forecast a particular percentage of the profit of the business. So that profit is what we use to what? Value the goodwill. Now look at this illustration. A, B, C, and D are in partnership, sharing profit in the ratio 2 to 3 to 4 to 3. It was agreed to change the profit sharing ratio to what? 3, 3, 3, 3, which is equally. Now it was agreed that 10,000. It was agreed that 10,000 be paid for every 1/12 gained in the change in ratio in sharing what ratio. So what they're saying is that if there's a gain of 1/12, then you pay 10,000 for that person that is losing it. That person that gained 1/12 will pay the person that lost it what that lost the 1/12. So they say you're required to show the premium to be paid or received by affected partners and calculate the goodwill thereafter. So this is the solution. We have A, B, C, and D. Okay, this is old. The old ratio is 2 to 3 to 4 to 3 for A, B, C, D. The new ratio is 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, so what's the old ratio fraction? 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3 is 12. So old ratio will be for A, 2 divided by 12, B is 3 divided by 12, C is 4 divided by 12, D is 3 divided by 12. The new ratio, which is 3, 3, 3, 3, will be 3 divided by 12, 3 divided by 12, 3 divided by 12. So the difference between the new ratio and the old ratio. So this 3 over 12 minus 2 over 12, that's 1 over 12. This 3 over 12 minus 3 over 12 is 0. 3 over 12 minus 4 over 12 is minus 1 over 12. 3 over 12 minus 3 over 12 is dash. So that means C has lost 1 over 12. A has gained 1 over 12. So A will pay C for this loss. So here's the solution. A. Partner A is to compensate partner C with 10,000 for the loss due to the change in the what? Ratio. Now, having established that the profit to be paid is 10,000, which is 1 over 12 of the total profit, then we can calculate goodwill. So that means if 1 over 12 of the proof for future profit is 10,000, then 10,000 divided by 12 will give you what? 120,000. That is the what? Goodwill. Goodwill, 10,000 10,000 times what? 12. What we're saying is that we have been able to establish that what? 1/12 of the future profit, which is the premium, is 10,000. So that means that if you multiply 10,000 by 12, which is more like 100%, we have 120,000. What I'm saying is 1 over 12 is 10,000. Then 12 will be what? 120,000. So in this class, we've been able to look at valuation of goodwill in partnership, okay? We looked at the definition, and then we looked at the possible reasons that give rise to goodwill. Then we looked at what? Purchase goodwill and inherent goodwill. We looked at computation or valuation of what? Purchase goodwill, and we looked at various methods for computing inherent goodwill. So look at it, and then if you have questions, you can reach me on 08136506356. Send me an email, jeremiah.dosu@gmail.com. Drop questions in the comment section. I'll be there to reply with the right answers. See you in the next class for evaluation and accounting for goodwill. Thank you.